Good evening and welcome to Trichologists on a Mission live. My name is Nadia Hughes. I am the founder of Trichologists on a Mission, and today we have my good friend Lori Hackabee for this awesome emission for Trichologists on a Mission live with questions from our listeners and answers from our professionals. How are you doing today, Lori?
I'm good. Good evening, everybody. Thank you for joining in to Trichologists on a Mission. Look forward to answering your questions tonight and engaging in anything else that you may have that's interesting.
Yes. So we're kind of excited today, guys, as our topic of the day is going to be oils. Are they good or are they bad when facing hair loss? Lori, we see this in our practices when we talk to clients in consultations. They let us know, I've tried all the oils that are out there in the industry, and they have not regrown my hair. They have not produced any hair. What's going on? Why my hair is not growing? So, in your experience, Lori, with oils, if you ever use them or if you ever recommend them, what do you recommend or what do you see in your practices?
Recently, I've seen most people are overly oily.
Right.
They have more oil on their scalp than needed or required. It's not doing them any good because it has built up to the point where most of their follicles are clogged pretty much, and their scalp is overly dehydrated. So I try to explain to them that the more oil that you have on your scalp, the less hydration that you're going to have, and you need to have that balance in order, to produce good hair.
Now, and not only that, but we know that there's more underlayer problems when it comes to dry scalp, if the case is. Now,
right.
It could be hormonal. It could be some type of seborrheic dermatitis, some type of psoriasis, some type of problem. Remember, guys, that our body, our scalp is an extent of our body, and it's letting us know, hey, there's something going on wrong with you. So it could be as simple as changing hygiene habits, such as shampooing more regularly with the right pH, shampoo and conditioners, or then we have an interior problem that is coming within inside. So that's why it's very important, guys, to attend, to seek help, such as a dermatologist, a physician. Let them know, hey, there's something going on. Majority of clients, they tend to blame on the pills. Well, it's the pills I'm taking. But we have to remember the pills that we're taking, it's to balance whatever illness we have in our body. So, we have to discard that in a way. There is some side effects into the pills and things like that. But if the habits, such as hygiene habits that you've been practicing for the past, 20, 30 years have not worked for you, why not adjusting or changing? I face on my practices, on my experiences day to day, that many clients said, oh, I cannot shampoo my hair daily basis. That's not me. I was told by my mother, and it don't matter what type of hair, what type of texture they have. I've seen Caucasian women tell me this. I've seen African American women tell me this, Hispanic. I mean, any ladies out there, unless they figure it out, hey, my scalp is getting oily daily basis, I need to shampoo it daily, then they make their adjustments, bless you. They make their adjustments on their own. But not only that, Lori, the fact that many of these companies claims can be misleading to many of the consumers out there. Why? Because of the simple fact that we know it's a fact that oils will not cure or prevent hair loss. Correct. So as professionals, we know that there is an underlayer problem, as we said earlier, when it comes to individuals suffering from hair loss. And depending on the type of alopecia or type of hair loss they've been diagnosed by a physician or a dermatologist, from there, it is important to find out from there if the client, in fact, wants to take chemicals, because we know there's treatments for chemicals, or in a holistic way, as many of our trichologists out there offer. So so it is definitely important. What do you recommend for those clients, or for those listeners that have been using oils for years to years, but they haven't seen no changes in their scalp?
Right, because sometimes you're right. Growing up, we did use lots of oil, and just think about it. Times were different back then. Products were different. The environment was different. Like everything changes over time. So what was good 20, 30, even 10, 15 years ago is a little bit different now. So it just depends on what you've got going on. I just say not all oils are absorbent in the skin or the hair. So got to be, we tend to, like you say, companies are misleading, and you just want to make sure you're using the right oil for you and your specific need. Most times, like we said, it's an internal issue going on that's causing the dryness per se, and that's why people use oil, and they want to equate that with moisture. Oil does not equate to moisture. Correct. Or hydration. So sometimes we got to just understand the context of why you're using the oil, and that's what I kind of ask the clients when they come in and they, telling me all the oils that they do use. The first thing I want to ask is, why are you using that? For what? To treat what issue? Oh, because my scalp is dry. Okay, so let's get to the bottom of why your scalp is dry. Because it may or may not be because you don't have enough oil.
Correct. And it's true. We see this in daily basis. The other day we were at my mother-in-law's house, and I noticed her. She got out of the shower and she started putting Vaseline straight in her scalp. And I'm like, no, what are you doing? And she's like, I've done it all my life. I'm fine. Everything's okay. And the great part there, when we see situations like that, when there's people that have been oiling their scalp all their whole life and it has not affected, is because the simple fact that they don't have a problem such as androgenic alopecia. If my mother-in-law was sensitive, her scalp be sensitive, or her androgen receptors would have been sensitive to anything, she would have had clumps of hair coming out, So she doesn't have an underlayer problem. She has strong hair, thick hair. We even heard it from Rasta men's, they say, oh my God, my hair grows with more dirt, it grows beautiful. It's just, they don't have those problems. They don't have those allergens in their body. They don't have those situations that others have. So we have to separate from there, guys. Do I have hair loss, or do I don't have hair loss? Like we said before, many clients have claimed, hey, when I had traction alopecia at a certain point, I applied the oils and it regrow my hair back. And it's a possibility. We're not saying no, because the simple fact that many of these oils are antibacterial, it kills bacteria, it kills fungi. So sometimes it could be a fungal problem that you have, But instead of being guessing or trying to figure it out with all these products out there, why not seeking for the right help? Okay. We have tools, very nice tools, that it will tell us how much oil your scalp is producing, if you're underproducing, if your oil glands are on overdrive or they're underdrive, depending on your age, depending on medication you might be taking. There are a lot of things. There's a lot of things that we need to look into, rather than just go grab the first thing, do it at home kind of thing that we always do, guys. Correct. And another thing, we're going to put an example, Lori. For instance, when we talk about androgenic alopecia, when an individual is suffering from this condition, their androgen receptors are sensitive, as we said, to DHT, which is dihydrotestosterone. The androgen receptors, we know they're localized in the crown area. That's what we always see in men, that they bald all this is bald, but they keep the, what I call the Caesar.
Yes.
You know, and so we know that that area is sensitive to environmental toxins, medication, hormones, a lot of things. Okay, so so the only way to stop and reverse that hair loss at that time when a person is suffering from androgenic alopecia is blocking the DHT from inside of their body, as it is a hormone. Okay, so so if not treated, it will cause negative effects, as we know, such as miniaturization. The diameter of the hair will decrease. Yes, of course, oily scalp, as the shampooing regularly with the DHT blockers, it is very important. Change one's person's hair textures when we see this more and more when the follicles are not producing healthy hair. Correct. As damaged strands visible, you know, on the texture. This is why DHT is said to be responsible for 90% of the hair loss that occurs. So what do you think about that, Lori? What is your input when it comes to androgenic alopecia? Lori's a little bit off. Let me tell you, what happened is that Lori is trying to pay attention also to our viewers. They're asking questions online. So, you know, excuse, sometimes we're trying to deal with different, she has two computers, I have two computers, so, you know, our apology. So go ahead.
I do apologize. Sorry about that.
It's human error. It's okay. We're having fun.
Yes, usually I find people that have the androgenetic, a lot of my clients that have the androgenetic hair loss issue going on, they also have other issues too. So it's kind of hard to tackle it just by the oil. I know that seems like the first, easiest, fastest, best thing to go to is grab some oil and put it, you know, start using that, because when you have those issues like that, like you said, androgens, they're hormones. When you have a chemical imbalance in the body, it affects everything. So maybe not only your scalp is dry, but your skin overall is going to be dry. You know, your lips get drier, chapped faster, and just everything. So it's an internal body change that's going on. And like I said, just not all the oils out there, you know, oh, I use black castor oil. Okay, for this person that doesn't have androgenetic alopecia, black castor oil might work great.
Yes.
For the one that has androgenetic alopecia, it may not do anything for you. Okay, so it's just a matter of, and putting it on your scalp, maybe not so much. You maybe want to put it on your strands, because that's the idea. You want your strands to look good and healthy. And most people are trying to get that shine.
Correct.
Usually why they use the oil is shine. They want
We're all chasing that shine, guys.
We're chasing that shine. But they just don't realize, hey, healthy hair has its own kind of sheen to it that you really don't need to put anything on your hair when it's totally healthy from the inside and out. But yeah, it's once again choosing the right oils, type of oils, and how you go about using them, not necessarily always on the scalp.
Right. Let me tell you, I have an experience of a boyfriend that I used to have many years ago, and he used to have androgenic alopecia, now that I think about it. And he used to buy this thing called Baby Don't Go Bald. And let me tell you, he could swear that his hair was growing, but I never saw a hair growing. As a matter of fact, he's bald by this time. So, you know, but, you know, first of all, funny title for the bottle of oil that it was like some type of pomade or something that he used to brush it in or whatever the case is. And I'm like, okay, how is this going to work? But hey, because it has food or that food, right? The food, hair food.
Yes, I'm guilty. Look, I'm guilty. Years ago,
yes.
I can tell you the oils that I used, and I my head has been shaved 5 times, like shaved off, started all over. We've done, you know, erase the board and get a new, I hated the hair that I had, so I was going to erase the board clean and start all over again. And then the process each time, except for maybe these last couple of times, I used oils, I used the hair food, I used, it was not Blue Magic grease, but it was bergamot oil, and then got some pure bergamot oil, put into that grease, mixed it up, and I would oil my scalp with that. Dax Supergirl was one that I used to use, but it worked for whatever the reason was. Like you say, I didn't have any other underlying issues, so my hair grew nicely, and I'm a hair person, so that's what I do.
Now, my question to those people out there that have, let's say, dandruff. You know, I remember that I've heard somebody's growing dandruff because my hair grows really fast. And I never heard that part, but hey, you know, okay, kudos to you for the growing dandruff. And
it always looks so ugly for it to be growing.
And then I said, why not changing your hygiene habits? In my practices, I've proven to client, like, you know, when I put them on a system, you have to shampoo your hair daily basis, and they look at me crazy. Yeah, if you want your hair to come back, now we're gonna put an example. Why do you think minoxidil maintains the growth phase of the hair going? Because of the simple fact, guys, that is glycol and alcohol. What is it doing to your scalp when you use minoxidil or Rogaine, what we call what we buy at the store? We can buy it at the store. Well, because it's stripping the oils out of your scalp. So what does that tell you? So just think about it. So if minoxidil or Rogaine is making my hair, maintaining that growth phase going, because it's stripping the oils out of my hair, so that's telling me that oils are what? Not good for my scalp. Okay, so back to
it's leaving you with just enough oil for that hair to come out the skin. That's what it's doing. So that sebaceous gland is at the top of the hair follicle, so it lubricates itself as it's on its way out.
Exactly, and that's what I tell many of my clients. Remember, when we that oil that we secrete daily basis, that's where the DHT is present. So that's why it's important to keep that area clean from any oil that we're producing, because majority of the time when a person have hair loss, such as androgenic hair loss, the Sebaceous glands, they're overdrive. You know, they're going in overdrive, just producing. And like you said earlier, you know, it depends on the diet that we have. So if we eat fried food, fast food, you know, not drinking enough water, of course, it builds also with the yeast. Yeast is a horrible thing, you know, when it comes to our scalp, and it's one of the topics that we will talk later on or in another segment. But now, so it makes sense. It makes sense that blocking the hormone, the DHT hormone, will help slow or even reverse hair loss, correct? So, so it is important, guys, that you stay informed. How does this work? How is the process? At the end of the day, we're here to assist you, to give you the free information you need to guide you from if you're planning to reverse your hair loss, or even if you're going for surgery. We know a great surgeon that I will definitely refer, you know, without a problem, because you just don't want to go through the whole process or whatever the case is. You would just want, you know, something quick and you have the money. We got the doctor for you, you know. Right. We want to be able to assist you in this journey. We want to give you the right and the facts about hair loss. How does it work and so forth. Now, one thing we're not saying, Lori, we're not telling people to go throw away their oils, right?
Don't do it.
But definitely we can put a better to put it to work in a better way. you know, me, I color and lighten my hair once a week minimum to be able to, you know, apply this fantasy colors and stuff. So I have to use oils on the end of silks and stuff like that on the end of my hairs because otherwise it's dry. On top of that, I'm going through hormonal change, so my hair is dry. I shampoo my hair daily basis, but I can show you my scalp under the microscope right after shampooing my hair. The Sebaceous glands are just, they're already pushing the sebum out. So, you know, so it is very important, guys, that we keep a well-groomed or well-clean scalp to produce healthy hair.
Yes.
So now, you know, they can definitely promote, you know, healthy scalp, but they must be shampooed. You know, unfortunately, like we said earlier, many clients, they tend to apply it and leave it not for one day, not for 3 days, not for a week, but for months.
Right.
Overflowing. So now remember, guys, when it comes to growing healthy hair, it needs oxygen, it needs nutrients, you know, it needs exposure to the sun. So can you imagine you have a bunch of oil on your scalp is swimming in oil, and then we're at labor fest, you know, out there having fun, and the sun is hitting us on our scalp. So that's creating some type of scarring in our scalp. Think about it, because it's burning you. It's kind of like you're a little boiling pot full of oil just boiling away, you know. So we have to think about that. Now, sun is the worst thing when it comes to hair loss. Why? Because we already have a problem of inflammation. Now, on top of that, we're exposing ourselves directly to the sun, you know, and that's creating another problem, more scarring on top of that. What do you think about that, Lori?
Yes, about the sun, we only need
15 minutes.
we only need 1,000 to 1,500 hours total worth of sun exposure.
Yeah.
Like, that's not a day, or that's like total.
Yes.
Sun exposure on your scalp, especially to the scalp and skin. So, you know, when we're out there all day, every day with no protection, definitely not a good thing.
Now, another thing that I've been facing when we talk to people that they're against oils, let's say those that are, you know, they're pro-alkaline and so forth, which is great, guys. It's great. Alkaline, it's good, but you have to moderate everything. Everything has to become it has to come to a balance when it comes to pH, as our body has a certain pH. So if we make it too acidic, or we make it too alkaline, it can throw us off completely.
Yes.
So that's one thing we always see, right, Lori?
Yes, and it can cause serious, I mean, either on either side of the scale, too much or too little can be dangerous. So we have to maintain a balance.
Yeah, I've heard clients that they tried that what is that called, the vinegar, and they apply it directly on the scalp, and things like that. And I just think that's too harsh for the scalp. We need to find, there's products out there, guys, that the professionals have, and it's been proven, you know, they clinically proven to work and to stabilize the scalp, to be able to correct problems such as seborrheic dermatitis, dandruff, psoriasis. Of course, we know that's internal problem when it comes to those situations, and there's a way you can control it. Only you have the on and off kind of thing to those issues, correct, Lori?
Yes, you're the magic bullet. There is no other. It's you.
Yeah.
You can look for it. You can spend the money. You can just keep searching and searching like you're on a quest.
Yeah.
And all along, you're it.
Yes. And that is so true, you know, how we can only be the responsibles for our own body. Because right here now, I can tell you, Lori, you have to do this, you have to do that, you have to do that. But once you go home, I'm not watching you, I'm not babysitting you. So it's on you to be able to recover, correct? So it's very important that we put we put our all in if we decide that we want to recover from hair loss. I'm tired, guys. I'm tired of seeing 22, 25-year-olds bald, completely bald. As we know, we're losing hair for trends. And it's very sad because I've said it before. In my time when I was a little girl, I I only seen bald men at the age of 70, 80 years old. Now I'm seeing with my own clients at 22, at 22, at 25, 30. I mean, it's like my youngest one, I believe, with androgenetic alopecia was 17 at the time. You know, and it's very sad to see this. So remember now, the food, the American diet right now, it has a lot of preservatives. You know, many have told me, well, I don't eat bad. I don't need fast food. I don't need fried food. But they eat a lot of canned food. So that right there is telling us that, hey, there's a lot of preservatives. Don't you think it's going to have lots of stuff? Me personally, I have to change my eating habits because I have to say, I'm, you know, me growing in a Mexican household, we eat big in meat, big in, you know, fried food, you know, like it was not just a little, you know, it was like a 5-course meals at home, you know, and you're so used to eating like that. So now that, you know, I'm older, this year I turned 41, it seems like every year it was like a weight putting over me more and more and more. And I realized like I have to change. I have to make, if I'm preaching about it, the fact that I don't have a hair loss problem, but I have a health problem. Thank God that I have not got no diabetes, high blood pressure, thyroid, none of that stuff. But I've noticed that it's like I'm slowing down, and I'm only 41. So what's going on? We have to adjust our eating habits, guys. We cannot expect for all these changes to happen. It has to become a lifestyle. Correct. So far so good. I've been feeling really good. I haven't craved meat for a long time. I've been doing all veggies, so which I feel great. So I want to be able to prove my clients that it's possible, you know, because I could have not made the changes but feel miserable. But at the same time, I want to show my clients, hey, it is possible. I've been doing it, you know. So are you vegetarian, Lori, or are you a meat eater?
No, I'm not a meat eat-er, and I'm not a vegetarian.
Oh my God!
I'm just picky.
Are you a Martian?
Kind of, sorta. No, I'm just very finicky and picky. So, but based off of my blood type, I am the true vegetarian. My blood type is A, and the A's are not to eat a lot of meat at all. The only meat that we're supposed to have is poultry and turkey. Chicken and turkey, and that is pretty much what I've eaten my whole entire life. I could eat it every day with no problem. If I got sentenced to that, thank you. You know, I wouldn't be mad at it. I would be fine. Okay. So I really don't struggle with the diet part. Some things I might eat that I shouldn't. And I did taper off on that. I could eat a 10-pound bag of potatoes in a week. Type A shouldn't have potatoes at all. Didn't know, you know, but you know better, you do better. So now I hardly eat potatoes at all.
Yeah, the starch in it is really bad for us.
Right.
So yeah, you know, it is important. Lori, she is a specialist mainly on not only as a trichologist, but also when it comes to dieting, you know, what to eat, what's the right food for the different type of blood type, or depending of your illnesses that you got going on. You know, there's some adjustments that they can be done, you know, when it comes to hair loss. We notice it when we tell clients start intaking an alkaline food, you know, to assist yourself. We know when we keep our body in alkaline state, you know, it's hardly for our body to get ill or sick or, you know, get sick with flu or colds and things like that. So going back, Lori, to the oil part, that is taking us to all this great information that we're putting out there. We definitely, wanna recommend the listeners and our clients. If you're gonna use oils on your scalp, make sure you detox first.
Yeah.
Second of all, if you're gonna apply it on your scalp, directly on your scalp, because you think you might have a bacteria, apply it, but remove it within 15 minutes or so of a treatment. Don't leave it there. Remember, the molecules of the oils are too large to penetrate all the way to the dermapapilla where the hair gets produced. So there's no beneficial part. So you can only do a benefit on the epidermis. So, but then shampoo it out and go on about your, day and so forth. It is very important, guys. Hygiene is the most important thing when it comes to scalp health. As we know, there's a lot of bacteria, and depending where you work or where you live, I've noticed that many people that live on the coast, or by the beaches, it tends to be more humid. There's a lot of humidity. So
Right.
imagine bacteria, humidity, all that stuff. There's a lot of fungi going on. Now, guys, you guys that mainly, when you go buy a hat, you put it on and you never wash that hat in the rest of the lifespan of that hat. Just toss it in the back of the car. The kids have it run around back and forth. You did the Bobby dance and other stuff, throw it somewhere, and and then put it right back in your scalp. Anything that touches our scalp. Now, what do you think? Now going to the scalp, what do you think of many clients that keep their brushes and combs for the longest?
Yeah, I don't. Well, for one, if you think about it, anybody that goes to the salon to get their hair done, they see the salon keeps the combs, brushes, and everything clean, correct?
Majority.
Right, the majority. Now you go to some places, and can't speak for them, but most professionals keep their combs and brushes, utensils clean. So, and we wash your hair, and we constantly washing people's hair and cleaning it and everything. So think about it. If you're at home, your utensils that you use at home, your combs and brushes at home, should be cleaned every time that you get your hair clean. I have seen combs and brushes that look like they might have 10 to 20 years worth of hair in that comb or brush because it has not been cleaned out in forever. And you clean your hair, but you use that same brush or comb that's dirty. Come on. That doesn't make sense.
Let me tell you,
I don't think.
Yes, and I don't play around with my clients. I tell them, go throw away all your comb, all your brushes, get yourself all new stocking caps, anything that's touching your scalp, I want it new.
Yes.
Oh my God, but no.
Or you can wash it. I mean, you can clean. Get you some, seriously, get you home disinfectant, just like, super strength that's going to dissolve grease and dirt and everything else. If you want to use that again, I'm not telling you to buy a new comb and a new brush constantly, but you have to keep it clean. Otherwise, it's not going to do you any good.
Right. And now going to the professionals, what I wanted to say is that I'm the type of person that I braid my hair. I love to braid my hair all the time. And when I go to the Africans to get my hair braided, because I think, I like the way they braid, I always take my comb. I always take my oils to put on my strands. And I ask them to please wash their hands before touching my hair. Why I do this, Lori? Because braiders don't have the extend on sanitation, on the sterilization. And I've sat down for a couple of hours waiting for for somebody to braid my hair. And I see the one braider using the same comb on 2-3 people. They went through that chair And not only that, the jars that they use with the oils and things like that, they dip and dip and dip. Okay, so they don't use a spatula where they can dip in there and then put it on a surface where they can be working from there. They contaminate the whole thing. Yes. Now we know as a professionals, there's a lot of fungi going on. There's a lot of lice going on. And more in the summertime, you know. So, you know, to me, it's very important, guys, to pass it on to you, this tip. If you're going to get your hair braided, if the case is because that's the style you want to rock that time, it's fine. That's not a problem. Usually summer is the time that women and kids go get braided, you know, because our mothers, they don't want to deal with the kids' hair for, you know, the period of time that they're on vacation. But make sure you take your own tools, clean, sanitize your oils and things like that, and always ask. It don't matter who's the professionals doing. I love you and all, but guess what, girl? I need you to go wash your hands and sanitize your hands before. The same practices I have with my clients, I want the same practices done to me. You know, that's a very important point that I just want to put out there, guys, for you. Because I know many of us got our hair braided. Yes. So.
And too, I just want to add, so I don't know how many people know that as a licensed professional, one of the biggest parts of your state board exam is sanitation and cleanliness. So, I mean, because working in the public sector like we do, we are, you know, gateways to disease, bacteria, and everything else, because we deal with the clients that come in with it. So if our standards aren't high, then we're just part of the problem and not the solution. So
yeah, and let me tell you, we're humans at the end of the day, and we can make an error. I remember not too long ago, I had a good friend of mine contact me on Facebook, on Messenger, and told me, hey girl, what makes you so comfortable to not use gloves when you microneedle? And you know what, that day, I promise you, it kind of clicked on my head, like, oh my God, I wasn't, because I was recording. I wasn't using my protection in my hands. So understand, we're human beings and we make mistakes. And I appreciate my friend, because that's a real friend, to call me and let me know, hey, what's going on? I want you to give me professionalism at all times. Thank you, you know, because we can slip real easy and not pay attention of what we're doing sometimes. So I do appreciate my friend that did that for me and call me and let me know. But at the end of the day, we as a person, we can ask politely to the person is handling our hair, whatever the case is, if we something that we don't like or we want to adjust. It's not going to hurt nobody. You know, we're here to serve you at the end of the day. So another thing that I want to let you know, guys, is that hair loss specialists can guide you to what diet you should follow to maintain a healthy scalp. And from there, we can produce healthy hair. Is that correct, Lori?
That is absolutely correct. Diet is, like I said, one of the crucial parts, just because you can produce so much. Yeast is produced off the scalp from what you ingest. Bad oil is produced is generated from the scalp from what you ingest. So diet is really important.
And you know what? You know how they say that we are what we eat. Correct. And I noticed one thing, that before I was like a little pig that didn't have sweating glands, because I never sweat. I could be working out and doing all this stuff, never sweat a drop, Lori. Okay, so that was the funny part. Now that I'm eating more vegetables, I start to sweat. So that tells me that my endocrine glands were not functioning properly.
Right.
They were being blocked. So now we know when we get a lump behind our ear, that's our lymphatic drainage being blocked. Those are toxins. They're being bottled up in that area, letting us know, hey, there's something going on.
Right.
So That's why we practice lymphatic drainage on our practices to assist clients, you know, to help their lymphatic drainage to go more smoother. And as we know, the lymphatic drainage, circulatory system, nervous system, it's all connected.
Yeah.
You know, so if one thing is not functioning right, guess what? Like it's like a domino effect.
Correct.
Everything else is gonna be off. Okay.
Yeah.
So any recommendations that you will give our viewers and our listeners, Lori, based on what we talked today?
If you're experiencing, you know, any kind of scalp issue, whether it be dryness, hair breakage, you know, eczema, psoriasis, or something like that, or you may not know, you just have flaky scalp, check with your dermatologist, check with your hair loss specialist, and that will get you in the right direction. Don't just, not saying that oils are bad and you should throw all that you have away, not saying that, just get educated about how to use them and when to use them and where to use them. Just want to be educated.
All right. So on my end, I just want to recommend a few recommendations to you guys for those that that are going through hair loss and they have scalp situations or whatever the case is. Definitely, you know, drink water. Water is very important for our scalp to be able to produce healthy hair. Hydration is very important. Also, exercise. And I started exercising also for the same reason, because, you know, I'm so focused on working, on being the computer majority of the time, and it could cause health problems. You know, I was getting up, you know, kind of, you know, having issues walking around like, what's going on? So we realized, you know, we can lie to the world, but we can never lie to ourselves, correct? So it is important also, guys, to detox ourselves once a month. As so much food that we eat daily, but we eat 3 times a day. That's if we don't, you know, dab into, you know, the desserts and the candies and this and that, you know. So definitely detoxing once a month is very important. Purging ourselves is very important. Eat iron-rich foods that can assist us, you know, to be strong. Vitamin C is very important. I always tell clients garlic, it's really, really good to apply garlic, turmeric for inflammation, things like that, that it can assist you. There's so many now, so many stores, health food stores, they have natural stuff that we can assist or aid ourselves, our body, just by applying a few condiments that will, when we cook and we saute our food or we cook. Let me tell you, I made a lot of changes on my eating habits. Now I'm having all these herbs and all these powders and things like that that it can I can apply to the food. And I always thought, oh, my kids are not gonna eat it, and that was my excuse. My kids are not gonna eat it. If they cannot eat, you know, this house ain't happy. So I proved myself wrong, because we feed them some plant-based protein that look like meat. They look like chicken, and let me tell you, they finished the whole thing. So I was super excited after that. So we can never say, no, I don't like it, I don't do this, because we don't know until we try. Correct. And if it's on our health, why not? So those are my recommendations for you guys. And if y'all have any questions in the later on, please post them on our link under. We're going to be posting in YouTube in our channel, Trichologists on a Mission. And we want to thank Lori for joining us today in this fantastic and helpful, giving us the great information and helpful information she gave us about oils and her experiences. Lori, tell our listeners how they can find you and where you're located.
Yes, I'm Lori Huckabee of Strands Trichological Clinic. I work out of Northern Virginia in the Woodbridge area at 12509 Dillingham Square. inside of Salon Plaza in Studio 119. I'm also in the Hampton Roads, Newport News area, and there I'm mobile. So if you give me a call at 571-492-2292, I can come to you.
Thank you, Lori. Let me tell you, Lori has an extensive background, not only medical, but also in trichology, dietitian. She has a lot of information. So I'll definitely recommend, usually clients that contact me or people that contact me, individuals that contact me in her area, I always send them to her. Why? Because she has the knowledge, she has the way to assist you guys, and she's wonderful. She's a sweetheart. So thank you, Lori, for being with us today.
Thank you so much.
So again, my name is Nadia Hughes, and if you're looking for help on my end, my company is Here Again. My number is 79210-792-2321, or you can always email me at hereagain2015@gmail for any questions or to set up a free consultation. Remember, guys, that we are a wide network of trichologists, that we are here ready to assist you, to help you in a holistic way.
Yes.
So we have people from Florida all the way to Seattle, and from California all the way to New York.
Yes.
So
no need to be out there suffering, because there is help, and we want to help you.
Yes.
It's not about anything else besides helping you.
And another thing, don't forget to tell your loved ones, friends, family, share on Facebook, share any way you can. You might not need this information, but somebody else can benefit from it. Let them know about us. We are Trichologists on a Mission. We are on Facebook, and we will be recording once a week on Mondays at 8:00 p.m. We're going to be live. So if anybody would love to be part of Trichologists on a Mission, you can also go to chat roll and pretty much just sign up there, get a username, and we always send the invite. We'll be sending the invite through Facebook, and you can just log in through there and ask all the questions as we record. So this is it for tonight. Thank you very much. We appreciate you listening to tonight's topic of the night, and thank you very much, and have a good night.
Have a good night.
Night.